In Iron County, Kelly Cochran faces sentencing in May. However, she also faces charges for the death of her husband, Jason Cochran, in Indiana. And behind it all was the memory of a very special little girl. Laura Frizzo would not confirm or deny if she was going to go forward with a lawsuit. However, representatives from the city say they're confident they can defend against one. While the victim's family and investigators wept and hugged each other, convicted killer Kelly Cochran stood emotionless and almost smirked as she was let out of the courtroom. Tuesday afternoon, Cochran was found guilty of 5 total felony counts, including first-degree murder, aiding and abetting, after she lured her lover and victim Chris Reagan to her house so her now-deceased husband could shoot him. According to former Iron River Police Chief Laura Frizzo, who took the missing person complaint for Reagan, it was the outcome they were looking for.
I feel that justice was served today for the family of Chris Reagan. And that was our goal, was to bring justice to the family.
Over the past few weeks, the prosecution alleged that the Cochrans killed due to a murder pact they had made on their wedding night. If one of them was unfaithful, they would have to kill the lover, or their spouse could kill them.
Jason Cochran and Kelly Cochran are bonded in blood. That bond only got stronger after Chris's death.
Throughout the investigation, Cochran had multiple different stories about what had happened. When first approached about the investigation of Reagan's disappearance, she said she had no idea what happened to him. And during the investigation, she said that she and her husband were serial killers. On the stand, she said those were lies, stories that she had made up to look like a monster.
I would consider myself a monster because here I am, I'm here, and he's not. If he would have never met me, he'd be here today.
Cochran's defense was that her husband had killed Reagan without her knowledge. She was a victim of her husband's abuse, which had gone as far as pointing loaded guns at her head. Prosecution disputed this, saying that Cochran had made no attempt to get help, even in the presence of law enforcement, and even confronted her husband via text about him going through her possessions. In Iron County, Kelly Cochran faces sentencing in May. However, she also faces charges for the death of her husband, Jason Cochran, in Indiana. Reporting in Crystal Falls, Matt Miller, ABC 10 CW 5. It was a rainy Saturday morning at Presque Isle, but that didn't seem to hinder people from coming out to support a local family.
Well, today is the first annual Amara's Princess Parade.
For Wayne Filizetti, it was a time to honor his daughter, who was lost a year ago. He didn't have to do it alone.
The UP never stops amazing me. I mean, it was raining, pouring rain today, and we still have over 100 people here, and we're still registering right now.
And it was an event worthy of royalty, with attendees dressing up as princes and princesses and walking around Presque Isle Park. And according to one of Amara's teachers,
she loved to dress up, so this is the best way to kind of remember her.
Participants were encouraged to donate to Amara's Light, a nonprofit created by her parents to help other parents who are going through the grieving process.
Amara's Light supports grieving parents and children through various ways. And behind it all was the memory of a very special little girl. She could light up her room, always smiling, always giggling, always the life of the party. That was my daughter.
You just couldn't not be around her and smile.
Reporting in Marquette, I'm Matt Miller for ABC 10 and the CW 5.
I support Laura. Mr. Thayer, nothing to the public, you're shouldn't be here.
Hey, come on now. That's enough.
You've been fired and never brought up.
Please sit down.
Tensions ran high as members of the Iron River community came to the city council meeting to speak out about the recent termination of former police chief Laura Frizzo, and some voiced their concerns about city manager David Thayer.
Laura's caring. She does her job. She doesn't take sides, but she truly cares. She cares not only about our community but the people in it.
There was standing room only. Many to support the former chief was also in attendance, but a few did support the city manager's decision to terminate Frizzo.
I'm not 100% agree with what he did in the matter, but I agree with his actions.
The man was asked to comment to ABC 10, but declined. Frizzo was terminated and not allowed to return from sick leave back in September of this year. Thayer said the two had irreconcilable differences.
Laura's dismissal has to do with the disagreement we have on management style and professionalism. I demand that all my staff people treat all of our citizens with respect. I expect that they're able to control their temper. I expect that their assessment of situations is not a prejudgment, but something based on the facts.
Some residents share concerns about Thayer's appointment as city manager, as well as some of his actions, such as taking on responsibilities of a police chief.
I think that Mr. Thayer is acting like a bit of a thug, and that he's assumed, like the retired state patrol officer said in the meeting, he has no law enforcement training that I know of, and yet he's appointed himself police chief. That's just not the way things are done.
I am serving as the administrative arm of police chief's duties. And I've done that both in Grayling and in Lexington before.
After the public comment section, a large number of the crowd left, many of them still showing support for the former police chief.
I don't even know how I could begin to thank the community. I love this community. I've worked here 22 years.
I've had so many people in the last 3 months contact me and thank me for taking the effort and the review and also releasing them from position.
Laura Frizzo would not confirm or deny if she was going to go forward with a lawsuit. However, representatives from the city say they're confident they can defend against one. Reporting in Iron River, I'm Matt Miller for ABC 10 and CW5.